Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I want to go over everything that's going on with IAE, and there are a ton of new updates. So let's get right into this video. I'm going to break it up into a few parts. We're going to talk about Twitch drops. We're going to talk about the IAE event as well, and a few other things that's going on. This is shaping up to be one of the biggest IAE events that CIG has ever hosted. So let's get right into it. So what is Twitch drops? Basically what CIG is saying here, that 4.4 patch is likely to go live November 20th, same time as IAE, for the free fly event. So there will be a free fly event for IAE November 20th. More likely the patch will go live 4.4, and on top of that there will be Twitch drops. So if you tune into any Twitch streamer during this time and you watch this stream for 4 hours, you will get this suit of armor shown here. So how do you do this? Well, you have to link your Twitch and RSI accounts. There has been some drama in the community about this, but keep in mind Star Citizen runs on Amazon servers, so Amazon already has your information. If that's a problem for you, you don't have to do this. This armor set exists in some form or another in game right now. It obviously doesn't look like this. This is unique, but these are essentially just reskinned assets that are already in the game. But you log into the RSI website, you go to your account dashboard, you click on settings, and then it will have Google and Twitch there. You want to click on Twitch, and you essentially allow it to authorize. This is basically what it looks like. You have to watch a Star Citizen streamer marked drops enabled. So if you're watching a Star Citizen live stream and it doesn't say drops enabled, you will not benefit from watching that stream. So you have to make sure that the stream that you're watching says drops enabled. Then you have to go to your Twitch dashboard and claim the drop once you've passed 4 hours. If you have an alt, for instance, you will need a second Twitch account to link to that alt to be able to get this drop for the alt as well. So if you only have one Twitch account and you have like multiple Star Citizen accounts, you're only going to be able to use one Star Citizen account with that Twitch account. And I'll link this page in the video description below if you guys want to take a look at it yourself. I know a lot of other people have already covered this story. I do think it is a good thing. At the end of the day, I understand there is kind of a delicate balance between Star Citizen content creators and the community, because Star Citizen is a crowd-funded, community-driven game, right? With other games, they have shareholders, and the game developer is kind of beholden to those shareholders, so they listen to the shareholders, and the content creators have less impact on the studio. But with Star Citizen is a privately owned company, and it is a crowdfunded game. So there is kind of this perception that content creators hold more weight in the community with CIG. Many CIG devs, watching Star Citizen content creators live streams and responding to them directly. Again, there is a perception around this that the community has. So many people do not like content creators' influence on the game. But in my personal opinion, this is a little bit different, because this kind of just supports the content that the content creators are creating, and it allows the player base to get something for free, and it adds exposure to the game. So everyone who is playing during the free flight, they might have Twitch open on a second screen while they're playing, so they can get the armor set. This is going to mean massive exposure for Star Citizen and CIG and for the game. And, the third star system is finally being added. Again, CIG wants this event to be really big, so I do think that this is a good thing. Now, I want to go over to the IAE deep dive Q&A page that CIG posted. So let's go over and take a look at that. All right, so we have the IAE 2955 FAQ. Orson welcomes you. So this is going to tell us everything we need to know about IAE coming up this year on the 20th. What is IAE? Well, it is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. We already know that. This is where CAG sells all of the ships in the game. When is the IAE taking place? November 20th to December 3rd. We also know that. What time does the event start? 1600 UTC. So you could set that on your calendar. When does the free fly event start? Simultaneously, November 20th. You can see the schedule here for the ships and manufacturer days. RSI is the first manufacturer. Then we have Origin, Drake, the Alien ships, Kruger, Mariah, and Misk. Then we have Anvil, Argo, Consolidated Outland, Grey Cat, Crusader, Tumbril, Aegis, and the last one is the best in show, and then there is the finale. So the best in show, they'll essentially put the 4 ships that won the ship showdown on display at the convention hall, and you'll have an opportunity to pick those ships up with their new exclusive skins. And we went over the new skins in a previous video. They look really cool, and yeah, you'll be able to purchase those ships with those skins and potentially also pick up an upgrade. So if you want any of those ships and you don't already have them in your hangar, you can purchase them with the skins. Here is kind of a map of that. If you've never been to the Vision Center before, CIG actually held IAE at Crusader Orson at the Vision Center before, when Crusader first got added to the game, when Crusader and Orson first got added to the game. And the problem with that was at that time the performance was very bad. So it was a very brutal IAE. I don't know how many people remember it, but yeah, the performance was very bad. So many people did not go to the convention hall during that year. But yes, IAE has been at Orson before. Now, I could be mistaken. I could be thinking of Fleet Week, but I believe it was IAE. Which ships get the best in show paints? So these ships are the ships that won the ship showdown. From there, Polaris, Asgard, Zeus Mark II ES, and the Gladiator. They'll receive the limited edition best in show livery, as well as the in-game manufacturer poster. These will be available to all players with the ships in their hangars. Additionally, the Polaris will receive a collectible in-game championship pendant, commemorative for the glory of being this year's Ship Showdown champion. So all of the ships get the poster and the skin, but the winning ship will get that commemorative thing. So if you already have one of these ships, you'll receive the IAE exclusive paint and extras following the last day of the event at no cost. To be eligible to receive the paints, the specific best in show ships are not variants and need to be in your hangar at the end of IAE. Having them in your buyback list will not grant you the best in show paints. If you melt any of the ships before receiving the paints, then you will no longer be eligible. So you need to have these ships in your hangar until the skins are delivered to your account. So everyone pledging for the best in show ships during IAE will receive the paints and items as well. If you don't already have the ships and vehicles, you'll get the prizes. Basically, please note that the best in show edition bundles already contain the best in show paints and posters within them, and will not grant standalone versions of those items. So basically, if you buy the best in show version of the ship, then it will come with the paint and the poster, and you will not get those items separately. So my suggestion is to buy those ships regular, buy the non-best in show version, and you'll get the best in show skins and poster and stuff separately, then you can melt those ships and you'll still have the skins. If you buy the best in show version, the skins will come bundled with the ship, and if you melt the ship, you lose the skin. So that's just my suggestion. So you can buy the best in show version if it comes with War Bond or anything like that. I do not know what the War Bond situation will be based on that. But again, that's just my suggestion. It's worked for me in the past before with the 600i. The 600i was Ship Showdown winner. I bought the 600i just regular, not the best in show version, and I got the skin and the poster, and then I melted 600i. I still have the skin and poster. So the best in show ships will also be available to fly for free during November 29th and December 3rd. This includes the Polaris. So yes, the Polaris will be rentable and you'll be able to fly it for free. I missed previous opportunities. How can I pledge for the F8C Lightning? So this is very interesting. Previously, pledging for an F8C Lightning required players to locate CDF F8C certification pass, communally referred to as the gold license, and redeem it at an in-game rental kiosk. These licenses were only obtainable during the selected in-game events. Starting with IAE 2955, the gold licenses will no longer be required. The F8C Lightning will be available to all players for pledge. Please note that the F8C Lightning is still limited to one per account. So if you have previously pledged for one, you will not be able to pledge for a second. This said, we want to celebrate two groups of players who have redeemed a gold license and previously unlocked pledge access. And those who've reached the qualifying concierge tier ahead of Anvil Day during IAE. If you're in either group, you will receive a special commemorative Night Weaver livery, which will be distributed during Anvil Day. This paint is not giftable. Okay. Please note the reward will not retroactively applied in the future. Those players who reach qualifying concierge level after IAE will not receive the commemorative paint. So a lot of information there. The skin is not giftable, but I think that's pretty nice. Now, what we know is that CIG will just continue to sell the F8. I am fine with this because it looks like there will be another variant of the F8. Maybe when you finish Squadron 42, you will get that ship, and this ship is kind of like the older one. The new F8C Lightning, or the F8X, I believe it's what it's called. That ship looks really cool. So again, yeah, I don't really have a problem with this, but that is just something to kind of note there. And so the skin looks like this. It's got kind of gold around the edges here. It has 8 and a lightning bolt, and it is kind of this dark black and gray tech camo. So the last thing to note about this is that you do not need to buy the F8 Lightning and have it on your account like the best in show ships. Again, you just really need that golden ticket. So this year, a couple of ships are going up in price: the Hull A, the Hull B, the Raft, and the Whalen. Now, this does not mean that the Whalen is currently in production. I believe it is, but you know, doesn't mean that it's going to come out anytime soon or anything like that. The same thing with the Hull B. I know that the Hull B as well is in production. The Raft is a very popular ship that has been doing good. The player base is a big fan of this ship. The Hull A, not as much, but it's growing on more people. It kind of makes sense that these ships are kind of going up in price. Now, I think one of the reasons why CIG might be increasing the price of these specific ships is, you know, interstellar cargo missions, the star system to star system trading. That might be becoming more lucrative in future patches. So CIG might want to just balance that gameplay and the profitability of it by increasing the prices of some ships. The Railin has been infamously affordable for what it offers, especially being an alien ship. So I'm not too surprised that this is going up in price, especially if it's entering production. The Raft, originally its maximum cargo was supposed to be significantly less than what it is now. So now that its cargo capacity has been increased so much, it does make sense that it's going up in price. The Hull B is another one of those ships that was concept and is going into production, so it makes sense that it's going up in price. And lastly, the Hull A, I don't really have a justification for this ship to go up in price. It's an okay ship, not many people's go-to. I really don't think this is going to make a big difference, but yeah, let me know what you think about these changes in comments down below. Last, we have an update to 4.4 with engineering preview, so I want to go over some of the engineering updates as well. So here we have the list of ships that are compatible with engineering, from the Carrack to the Paladin. You guys can pause the screen here if you want to take a look at the list of the ships that are compatible with engineering. I'll also leave a link in the video description below for you guys to go through the full list yourself. This post is from Reddit. But with the engineering, there are a couple of things that are kind of interesting to me. Right now, CIG has rebalanced some things. So in my personal opinion, it does seem to feel a little bit better. People have showed footage of fire, components overheat, ships have been exploding. Again, if you just remove the coolers and you run the components at full blast, the ship can explode. It can have a catastrophic meltdown. The fires are pretty interesting. People have also been showing footage of the player character taking off their helmet, attaching it to their hip. With the components, to go back to engineering real quick, you can repair these components. It's a kind of a one-time thing, but it does take time to actually affect the component. Sometimes 1 or 2 minutes. I've seen people say, it can take up to 5 minutes to repair a component automatically. And again, you can only do this one time. In the engineering terminal, there are different things that you have access to. So again, having at least 2 players on your ship is going to be a little bit more important, especially for combat scenarios. If you're not in combat, in my personal opinion, the ships have been reacting normally. The biggest thing with fighters is that you can lose your radar. If you lose your radar while in combat, you're kind of dead in the water because you can't find the other ship that's attacking you. I think this is kind of a big issue in my personal opinion. That what I like about the soft death state is that you're fighting, your ship goes soft death, and then the fight's over. With this, you're not soft death, your ship is still, in a combat, capable state, but you can't really do anything. And that's going to lead people to do one of 2 things, leave or backspace, or, kind of just give up. For combat ships, they should have some type of like redundancy, or a hardened component. So basically your radar is kind of your radar and your computers are the last thing to go down, right? Or buff to certain components. I think it's kind of okay if you lose one gun, because then you can kind of fight, still. Or you lose one engine, then you could kind of, fight still a little bit, right? And that, in my personal opinion, would just make it more fun. Again, I think it is kind of interesting, the effect the components play on ships now. I think CIG should just go through now and take a look at what's fun for players and what's not fun for players. And I think if you have a perfectly capable ship, but you just lose your radar and you're not able to fight, That's not really fun, right? And at first, that might be kind of okay, not too much of a big deal. But in reality, what I think most players are just going to do in that situation is leave, abandon their mission, or do something else, right? And that's not good, right? I think that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Engineering should add depth and complexity to the game, not discourage gameplay. So let me know what you guys think about engineering in the comments down below. I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about it, and I want to hear all of you guys' opinions about engineering. But that's going to be it for me in this video. This was a longer video. There was a lot of stuff to cover. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me again. Like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Salute.